We're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Church of Union after church tea time. And we're going to discuss healing disease and go deeper into Jeff and Shaleia's sermon of today. Yeah, so I got so much from this and it really resonated with me and my union's journey with healing mental illness. So I don't know, maybe we can all share our experiences with our healing of disease or just what you got from it. Yeah. If you want, I can go first. Or Keely, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, do you want to put it in gallery view? I think
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it should see everybody. I'm watching it now.
There we go. Cool.
Cool. Okay. It's funny watching myself talk. Okay. Yeah, well, I got a lot from the sermon. I received a lot of clarity and grounding of the spiritual work that I've done since coming here and doing this work. Before I started this work, I had a lot of issues with digestion and just overall health in general, mental, physical, emotional. But my big thing was that I couldn't really digest my food, and I was allergic to pretty much everything. Marley knows a lot about those details.
There the whole time.
She was there. Yeah. I was unable to fully have a balanced diet, and I went to a nutritionist and they said okay, we'll do some tests on you and just see what's going on. So I took an allergy test, and basically they said you can eat potatoes. That's pretty much it. And I had to really question why that was happening, right? That was one of Jeff's points and direction, is really ask yourself okay, now you have a disease or some illness, why is this really happening, right? And the doctors didn't know. They didn't have an explanation. It wasn't I was drinking a lot of alcohol or anything like that. They said, well, seems like you have some sort of autoimmune dysfunction, some autoimmune disease. So and there wasn't really a cure for it. So that was a little not fun to hear, but I was not satisfied with that answer. And so I did my own research and looked up things on YouTube and just all over the place. And I tried a bunch of things. I tried vitamins. I tried eating really well, following my guidelines from my nutritionist. But nothing was really working because I wasn't really getting to the root, right? I wasn't really getting to the spiritual cause of that illness. And so I really appreciated what Jeff was saying, just keep going, keep layer by layer, peeling back those layers till you finally get to the cause of the disease. And it wasn't until I joined TFAST and started doing this work that I really understood the true cause. And for me, it was a feeling of not being worthy of God's love, not feeling worthy of being supported in being peaceful. I felt I had to constantly be doing stuff and proving my worth, and that I wasn't good enough the way I was. So I was constantly attacking myself, essentially, which is kind of what your body thinks is happening when you're allergic to things, thinks you're under attack. And so when I realized that, I was able to let that go and start really loving myself and loving my body. And that's actually when I had a session with Stephanie if you're watching, hey. Yeah, we had a session a while ago, like right when I started, and we healed my relationship with my body and just brought a lot of love to my actual physical body, because I was really kind of hating on my body for a while, hating my physical body. So once I like released that hatred and really started loving myself there, my digestion improved a lot. And now I have like, I think pretty perfect digestion. I mean, I'm sure it could improve even more as I continue this work, but yeah, I can eat whatever I want. I never have to worry about what foods I'm putting into my body. I mean, I tried to eat foods that feel really good, divine dish foods, of course. But for the most part, I can do whatever I want and feel good about it. And I don't have to have this little like fear in the background saying, oh, you can't do that, you're going to get sick. Like I lived like that for a while. And that was not fun. So it feels really good to let that go and yeah, be healthy, be at peace. So I think I'm going to share some pictures too. Yeah, I'll post them in the comments. I have some like pictures of when I was sick and just like close up of my face that you might find interesting. But basically, like my face was really swollen and I had a lot of like fluids, I guess, like building up in my system because I was so sick. And I also have a picture of all the vitamins that I was ingesting every single day, just to give you an idea of like where I started. But yeah, I'll go do that now.
One thing that really inspired me by your story is like you never stopped, like you never gave up, like, and that's what Jeff talked about today. Like you have to like choose life. You have to like know that you can heal it and that God like only is healing and that like that's your true state. And that was like really powerful because like in consciousness there's the idea that like you might not be able to heal this one disease, like there's not the cure, there's no cure yet, but that you got to persist because like God will heal you, and you just have to choose life and choose to receive the support that is necessary, and you'll do it, you'll get through it.
Yeah, I really relate at what you say about persistence and, like, because it's totally what happened to me because I was very sick. I literally heal with all the thing. I heal a genetic disease. It's something that, there is no cure. You're born with it, that will be worse. It's a rare genetic disease, so no one studied that. There's absolutely no solution. And yeah, because my whole life I was sick until I had many symptoms. I think I saw all the kind of specialists that you can have in the doctor area, all of them, all the specialists for all the body everywhere. No one never found. I have very many different things, like I have fever access, I was vomiting like that, I got very high fever that my brain almost got damaged. I had that for every month for years when I was a child. After I started to have pain in the bones, I started to have a lot of problem with my joints. I have a lot of dislocation, like happened like randomly. A lot of things, migraines and everything, really. I have also a problem with digestion, with allergies, with intolerance. I have so many things. And when I got 25, I have a bike accident, and all my right side just was totally damaged. And at this point, I had so much pain. I was like, God, is it like that? My life is finished, at 25. I was like, what the fuck is that? I was in the middle of my PhD. I was like, what is that? My life is gone. It's finished now. It will be worse and worse. I don't want that. And because it was when I go at my laboratory, so I needed to go at the doctor for the work for university. And when she asked me, what do you have as symptom? I was just listing all of them. like 20, 30 thing. She was like, that's weird, you already did a test for genetic disease or something. I never thought about that. I studied that because I have a PhD in human diseases, so I really study everything, particularly human system, but I study everything. So I was like, oh yeah, that's true, there is genetic disease. And I got that there was one disease that explained everything. All the symptoms I ever had explained that. And I was even, it was even worse because I was like, okay, I know what I have is not helpful. It's finished. There's nothing to do. I'm still stuck at 25. I have no life. I have no hope, because they say I have this genetic disease. There's nothing to do. The only thing that you can do is like at one point when it's too much, because I have hard time to leave my bed in the morning because I had so much pain in my back. I wake up in the night because I was not able to breathe. I had so much pain when I was standing, I was not able to stand more than 5 minutes. When I needed to go to the supermarket, that was horrible. I almost didn't cook or go to the supermarket because it was so painful. And the worst is from the outside, I look totally healthy. So even the people, when I need to sit in the transport, they are like, oh, but you're healthy. But no, I already got so much surgery and medication. I was all my life under medication. And yeah, I was like, I don't want that. God, I really don't want that. And by totally like miracle, I found a doctor, a GP that was more about the holistic approach. So about taking the body in the whole, in one. And it's really like saved my life. And I think it's because I asked God, I want solution. I don't want to live that. I don't want to be on the oxygen. I don't want to finish my life in a wheelchair in 1 or 2 years. I don't want this chronic pain. I don't want that. And finally, yes, I got this doctor that helped me with working on my body to put more my skeleton in the good position. So I was starting to have a like relaxing energy in my body. I think when I got 25, the first time of my life, I had 1 day without pain, without any type of pain. And I'm like, oh, that's life. That's why I never complained finally. People always like, oh, you complain so much, but finally no. I was like, oh, that's like people live their life. I thought pain was normal. That's insane. I really thought it was like everyone has that. But yeah, no. So I discovered that after I worked on my intestine, it felt better. But at one point, I was like, I reduced my migraine because I had 8 by month before the whole day, even sometimes 2 days. I reduced that. But at one point, I was like, okay, but I'm still stuck. There is no evolution. I was like, it's still not healed. It's better, but still not a solution. And I found energetic therapy healing, and it was better, but it was still the same. It's still not the core, of the whole symptoms. And because I have a PhD in human diseases, I was like, yeah, I got that you can't heal only on the body. So let's go deeper. And when I found with the mirror exercise, it's really helped me because I was like, oh, I can heal everything, because literally it's like an upset. I have pain somewhere, I heal like an upset. So it was like, okay, let's try that. And it's really helped me. Yeah, it's helped me a lot. And also what really helped me is the mind alignment process. My map session I did in November was really like amazing, because literally my map session was on the trauma I had when I was in the womb of my mother, still not born. And I had this kind of trauma that I'm totally alone in pain. And somewhere, I manifest that my whole life. I'm alone, no one can help me, no one can support me, and I am in pain, permanently pain. There's no God, there's nothing, no support, no love. It's what I manifest. Until it was too much, I was like, God, do something. And finally, God bring me solution after solution. And now I'm completely healed. I mean, I don't have dislocation since 1 year and a half. I don't have migraine anymore. I can eat what I want. Before I was almost intolerant of everything I was eating. Now I can eat everything. It's just like, I'm really healed. That's a genetic disease. That's insane. I am a scientist. It's like, there's no explanation. But yeah, there is an explanation, because it's not only the body. It's really something in mind, as Jeff said, and emotionally and spiritually. So I really it's really, 20 years old that helped me to heal really all the layers of this manifestation, because it's just a manifestation. It's only that. And I realized when you heal that, no, I don't have pain anymore. It's just like, it was not really real. I experienced that, but I even don't really remember, because the relief here, the peace now is so strong. The love I have for myself is so strong that it's just like, okay, I had that, but I don't have emotion there. I really have only peace now. And I'm really like, I really acknowledge that this experience helped me to reach this point. And I'm really grateful for that. But that's the past now. And now I feel that, I'm alive now. And I found that again. And I'm really, really grateful for this teaching, because it's really like helped me so much.
I love what you said. And I totally resonate with that, because I also used to suffer from I used to get chronic migraines when I was 12 to 17. I would get them almost daily, or a couple times a day. And it was it's you couldn't really live. I was in constant fear of getting one, and then I would get one and I'd be in horrible pain. So it was this cycle of just feeling really bad. And the types of migraines I got were really debilitating, because my fingers would go numb, and I'd be nauseous, vision weird. And I went to the doctor all the time. I would get MRIs, but there was never really any reason that I was getting them. They try, not even my diet, there was no reason. And but they did go away as I started doing spiritual work, even before I found Twin Flames Universe. But I remember about a year into being in live classes, I started getting another round of migraines. And it really freaked me out, because it really made me feel like I had no power, in my life, and I just had to experience pain. And I remember making a post in the open forum about it, and just seeing if anyone had any insights. And Shaleia actually commented, and she said, the reason you've experienced migraines is because you believe that your life is supposed to be painful. That's the root of it, is that you and your twin flame both have this. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. I've looked at life as just a headache, basically. And so I experienced life being a headache. So I really healed that in that moment. And I haven't had a migraine in over a year, which is a new record for me, since I turned 12. And I don't live in fear of them anymore. Even for a long time afterwards, I know I would get really paranoid and just kind of do preventative things. But now I just feel really peaceful about it. And it's because of the mirror exercise. I was able to get to the root. I realized life is not painful. Life is beautiful. Yeah. So it's a mirror exercise, and just realizing it was all in my head. I think that's something all of us have shared so far, is the doctors didn't really have any way to help us, but it was we had to go deeper.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I want to share my experience too, because it was a little different, but I received a lot from this sermon in this topic. For me, it was after an experience they have with one of my family members suffering a heart attack. After that, I experienced a lot of anxiety, panic attacks every day. Some days twice or something like that. It was basically living in hell at that experience after that. I want to say the importance that Jeff says of claim all your support, doctors, the spiritual healing, claim everything. That was key for me, for heal everything. Because I remember at first, I need to go to the doctor, hey, I need help with this. I need to take medicines to help me through this, because it was so difficult. And I remember the first doctor that I went to see, he was like, you need to deal with this for your life. And I was like, what? I didn't have this before. I know that I can be healed from this. I know that this thing originated in this point of my life. I have this in my mind. I know I can heal this. I had been reading A Course in Miracles for a while. I knew a little of Jeff and Shaleia. I knew the mirror exercise. All this happened when I was joining the community. It was only starting with the work. I remember continuing with that. I went to another doctor in another city because I was manifesting a lot of symptoms. I thought that it was happening to me.
Like heart attack symptoms?
Yeah, like heart attack symptom, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that pain, oh my God, that thing. I was manifesting all of that. And I went to a doctor, like, to do all the tests. And they were like, no, you're fine. It's only anxiety. And I was like, oh, okay. Next day, oh my God, I have it again. Don't worry, it's anxiety again. And it was with all of this. And yeah, like, I know that there is a way to heal from this. And I remember going to this doctor, to a heart doctor, specialized on that. He made all the tests to me. And at the end of it, he was like, I wish I have your heart because you are so healthy. But your disease is in your mind. You need to heal your mind and then it will disappear. And that was like so big for me. It was like, wow, I have never listened to a doctor say something like that. And it was so true. It resonated a lot with me. And I remember after that, I started exploring like why I am suffering that anxiety, what I am afraid of, what is that thing that is scaring me that much. Asking all that questions, like lead me to this belief that God was chasing me with some of these like attacks, some of this disease. He was chasing me for that. And I was experiencing like, a lot of responsibility for other people, for other people healing. As Jeff said, like you cannot choose healing for others.
Yeah.
And I was putting that responsibility in me.
Because, yeah, like your dad.
Yeah, I was putting responsibility for that person. I remember like, I can make another choice. And the moment I make the choice, I surrender control. I realized that God like didn't want me to be sick. That moment that I made the choice, all the symptoms vanished in one day. Like I stopped having that symptoms of anxiety and I was like, wow, like my life is normal again. Like all these people telling me that they need to deal with this all my life. And I was like, no, like I just like went to the root of the upset of the disease and I healed it. And after that, it was peaceful, like a peace that they didn't know that they can experience after that. I thought that I was out to be anxious all my life, but no, like with this work and with all this support, because it was a very big thing to claim the medical support and then doing the inner work at the same time, step by step. Yeah, I'm very grateful for this teaching because it helped me like to move through this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're gonna do MAP soon?
Yeah, and I'm going to do MAP soon to clean all the root that is left there and to clean that forever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes he'll like still experience some anxiety, like it's
Yeah,
like almost like
flares.
flashbacks. So we know that MAP is the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that story. That's really cool. Just like vanished in a day.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And like I really loved how like Jeff highlighted like it's really important to get like professional medical help, and like in your case you saw like that was really important for your journey, and like in my experience like that was really important. Again, like in spirituality there's the like misconception like, oh, like I can just heal it with like my inner work, whatever, I don't need like doctors, whatever. But yeah, they know what they're doing. They can really help you like to a certain extent, and then when it gets to like the actual healing of your mind, like that's where like spirituality and like inner work and the mirror exercise come in. But yeah, like with Joshua, my twin flame, like he has like a couple mental illnesses, and he was on and off medication to deal with those, but medication like really makes a difference for him. Like it was really important for him to like get support from his therapist and like from like the medication in order to ground and be able to even do the inner work and like get out of that like pain or out of that like state, so like he could like sit down and be like, okay, like what is this teaching me, and how can I heal this further, instead of just like medication helps you like deal with it, but then like you want to go deeper and heal it, and yeah, like I can't stress enough like how much you need support with when you're healing this, when you're healing any disease. Like you need so much support, and it's okay to reach out for that. It's okay to receive that support. Yeah, and that was like a major lesson for us. Like reach out to the support, all the support you can get, because you need it. Yeah, and God like always will show up for you like when you do that. Yeah, and another thing I wanted to share, like recently, Deanna reached out to me, letting me and Joshua know that like Jeff and Shaleia actually were talking about us and Joshua's mental illness. He has like schizoaffective disorder, like it's kind of like schizophrenia. And they said like the root of the problem was that there's a misalignment in the belief that like we are union, and he like believes that the your mind isn't as powerful as God's, and that your mind can like basically like trick you. So like we did the inner work and we found the core belief, like it was presented to us, which is really cool. And yeah, now we're like healing it even deeper, and that's what every illness is. It's like of the mind, like Jeff said, and we're going deeper in that, and finding like true healing, which is really cool. Like I was like, even though this is uncurable, I'm like, nope, we're gonna cure it, we're gonna find the solution. Yeah, and it feels so good, like that God like has our back, like God has everyone's back in healing. Yeah,
I love that. I really love how like you shared that the medication is actually really supportive to him, and that it's like necessary, because like I personally grew up in a family that was like really alternative, and they were against like Western medicine, and they hated doctors and like all that. But I love like Jeff and Shaleia's approach, and like your story helps to like really share how like you need you need that support right now, like, and that it's a huge comfort, and it's really like helping you heal. Like it doesn't get to the root, but it definitely helps you heal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, we have Stephanie comment about that the medication and that physical support bring comfort so that you can go deep in the spiritual core. And that's really true, you know, because even if I relate to me, I was under medication a lot of years, almost my whole life, and it's really healthy. You know, if I didn't took medication when I was young, when I had this very high fever, I would just die. So it's just so important because it's a kind of support, and you need to have everything to at least reduce the physical pain or suffering. Like that, you can focus on something else. Because if you are totally not comfortable in your body, if it's so painful, you can't even start to heal something, because you can't. That's not possible. You need all your energy for your body. That's what when I say that I was living, I discovered what it was one day without pain. All my life changed because I had so much energy after to go out with friends, to do activities, you know, that I didn't do before. Before, I just go from work and I lie and watch TV because I was totally not able to do anything. So it's really about that, claiming support to relax your body, and like that you can start this really deep healing. It's really important.
Yeah, that's so true. I really benefited from being supported with my pain and like pain management. It was really hard for me to even really get up and do normal everyday activities, like even having like a job, right? I had like a part-time job, and that was a lot for me at the time when I was sick. So yeah, I did also benefit from that. And I just want to let you guys know I posted the pictures in a different post. So if you want to see that, you can. I wasn't able to post them in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like I think it was the last service where Jeff says like it's much easier to have like the same problems in a Mercedes-Benz than it is to have like problems in a breaking down car. So it's the same with like medical support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very huge for me, that support, because I couldn't access my feelings when I was with all the, all flowing. I was like taking medicine, and that helped me gain like more clarity, more like stability.
Mm.
Because at that time I was at university and I couldn't go without, like, it was impossible for me. But medicine helped me through that period to finish that and to explore more my feelings and to explore more the core of the problem, to think more on what to do. It's a process. Like when I started to heal more, the medicine started to I stopped doing it. And yeah, but it's a process, and it's perfect if you combine it and take the journey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any comments that we want to check out, or does anyone have any questions or like anything they want to talk about? Like, let us know in the comments and we'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah, we have some comments, but they are sharing their journey, so it's really interesting. If you want, I can read, or I don't know how you want.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there is Renato that said that he also had panic attacks very often. Go to hospital and was addicted with heavy medication, and so I read literally, it will be better and better. And just before I met my twin flame, I made the choice to not live with that addiction anymore. And when I met Chris, we both healed together naturally with panic disorders and addiction. So I'm still working on anxiety and overthinking. Yeah, that's really beautiful story. You can really see that sometimes, even if you take so heavy medication or you have the feeling that you will need to do that all your life, that's not true. So that you find to accept that this support, you're not going to be stuck on their heavy medication your whole life. You will reduce it. You just choose it and do the work for that. Yeah, it's a really nice story. I think panic attack disorder is something I can really relate it because I had a lot of panic attack. I was diagnosed as autistic, and I really had a lot of panic attack. It's also helped me. I say I was because I considered I healed that. It's also something that you can't heal normally. It's even considered as a disease. But for me, it was really a disease because it's the symptoms. It's something that it should not be here and prevent me to really live my life. And I'm not born with it. I developed that because I was, and I talk with a lot of other autistic people, and I realized that it's just really sensitive person. They are really, I was always very sensitive to everything. With eyes, with all my senses are really high sensitive. And I was not in the environment that can help me to manage that. So when you're not in this kind of environment, you need to set your own boundaries by yourself. So I was doing that physically because I even didn't know I can do that energetically, So I was doing that physically because when people touch me, I was literally have the feeling that I was burning. Yeah, my skin was burning. I really have this. Or like electric shock, which was really painful and really intense, when people was touching me. It's so horrible. And I was not able to look at people's eyes because literally I was able to saw them how they are, truly. That's painful because, I was even not able to look at myself, how I can look at someone else, deeply. I even didn't knew who I was, but I was able to see people how they are by looking in the eyes. I can't handle that. I was not able to handle that. It was really painful. Really physically, when I was looking in the eye of people, it was physically painful for me. And I healed that completely by loving myself. And I know I can set boundaries energetically, so I don't need to do that physically. I still have, of course, but it's totally different. Everything changed, and I don't have panic attack anymore. And also, my map session was also a really huge help for that too. All the thing about be invited, be attacked. It was also part of my map session. I literally remember I always say to Jason, like, oh, you know, it's a feeling when I go outside because of my light and love, it attracts people, and all the people will run on me and jump on me, you know, like a zombie apocalypse, like all the road zombies run on you. That's why I always was so afraid of this kind of movie, because of people that run for you. And I realized that, yeah, because I experienced that, because I thought I can't protect myself, so I attract people. As the case, you know, there was people that I attract so much people, like it was even weird, you know, like people were sitting close to me, starting to tell me about all their life. And I was like, yeah, okay, but why? And people that sit close to me, there's place everywhere, but they sit so close to me that they're on my clothes, you know, literally. Oh my God, they feel like that. And the opposite was true. Sometimes I was like repulsive, too much, yeah, people that around me there was a circle of 10 meters, no people. In the middle of train station with a lot of people. You know, I always felt there was something energetically, but I was not able to be in contact with that. The mirror exercise really helped me, and the mind alignment process, because it really helped me to understand myself, understand where I am in this reality, where I am in the physical environment, what is my place. That's really important, and that's what autistic people experience, is that we don't know the place, literally, I think through the body, because we feel so much invited physically that we are like, okay, so that means my body is your body, or, you know, you don't really feel where you start, where you end, and where people start and end. And that's why you're really dealing with the feeling of being invited, because you don't know where you are. You don't know who you are. That's why the teaching of Jeff and Shaleia is really amazing, because I think it gives the answer to everything, to really understand who you are on all the plan and aspects. Really help. So yeah, so valuable. So thank you so much, because yeah, it's really changed my life.
I have a question for you. So you talked a lot about boundaries, and like how when autistic people, like they feel like they don't know where their boundaries are, right? And like they can feel like kind of disoriented in that space. Yeah. So how did you heal that? Like, how did you what was the process that you went through to heal that piece there?
Yeah, I think it is first I heal, but when I started to love by myself, yeah, when I started to love myself and to acknowledge my body, because before it was like, I have my head and I have something there and it's not really me. I never considered that my body was me. And I talk with a lot of autistic people, and we have the same kind of perception. There's only the mind, and we are kind of stuck in the body because we don't really accept to be there. I think we don't really understand what's happening there. And yeah, so when I started to love myself and to really acknowledge my body, it started when I discovered energetic healing. And it was like a really compassionate way for me to start to discover my body, you know, to start to be in contact with my feeling. And at this time, it was 3 years ago, yeah, when Stephanie reached from Universe, really funny. So yeah, I really start to understand and to feel for the first time my feeling expressed in my body. Because also I never was really in contact with my feeling, because I always felt that my body will break or something. So yes, it started like that, but really being in contact with myself, with my body, to, you know, even touching myself was very hard before. I never did that. So yeah, I was able to do that. I was like, oh, I'm here. I feel I'm here. So it's like that physically, after, naturally, you know where you are and you feel that. Because it's something that, yeah, it's, for me, I was always very sensitive to energy of people. So I always was like lost in the middle of this energy. And because I was not really fully present with my body, I was totally lost, like in the middle of a storm, really. That's why I learned how to be present in my body and to be really grounded. Yes, that's when I start to ground myself. I start to have boundaries. Yeah, it's really about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I relate to that a lot too. I feel like in my map session, I healed a lot around the belief that I could be hurt. And I think since I thought that in the past, I kind of tried to prevent the hurt from happening by disassociating with my body, right? Kind of like just being in the mind, like floating around, like really high. And so since I've been healing and doing this work in my map session, I've been really like aware of that belief when it comes up. And now I'm able to make a new choice there and let go of this belief and know that I am safe, that I can't be hurt, and that it's safe to like have more intimate connections with people, with myself, with my twin flame, and feel safe doing that.
That's interesting. I never thought of like being ungrounded and like dissociating as the fear of being hurt, but that kind of, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You would stay kind of like out of touch. But yeah, and I really loved your story, Kieran. It's like miraculous, because it's not, something, autism is supposed to be incurable. I mean, yeah, it's just really amazing and inspiring. Also, I wanted to just share, Stephanie said something interesting on the comments. She said, I would love for you guys to touch upon why so many people who are going on their spiritual journey tend to begin to manifest sickness, the wounded healer archetype, which is interesting. I don't really, I'm not sure,
I never heard the term.
Well, I guess I've heard about empaths, taking on people's pain and things like that. But yeah, I was wondering if anyone had any thoughts.
I was just gonna share that comment too.
Yeah.
But I feel like Jeff and Shaleia have talked about you go on your spiritual journey when you've reached your threshold of pain, that's when you start awakening. And sometimes I guess it takes people to manifest disease, to be okay, this sucks. I need to make a change. And yeah, that's what I feel is what happens. And for me, I didn't manifest that kind of disease. It was more mental, I was depressed and everything. I was oh my God, the world is not supposed to suck. I don't want to feel like the world sucks and that I suck and that I'm just gonna die. I don't want to feel like that. And then I manifested finding out about spirituality, and then Jeff and Shaleia. And I knew there was after feeling that much pain, I was okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that's very true. And also the empath part, because that is why I manifested that. You buy into the pain of others. You think that you need to heal them, or you need to, go in there.
You take responsibility.
Yeah, take responsibility, but you need to understand they can't choose the healing, and they, can't do it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go there and experience the pain to heal them, because it's no reason on that. You're experiencing pain, and they're experiencing pain too. Why? For no reason. Help them go out instead of getting in with them to that place.
Yeah, that seems why you manifested.
Yeah, it's why he manifested all of this.
His dad had a heart attack, and so he started manifesting heart attack symptoms. But you can't, like Jeff said, in the you have to choose your own healing. No one can do that for you. Yeah.
I relate a lot to that too. I thought if I felt the pain of others, or if particularly around politics and what was going on at the time in 2016, there was a lot of political upheaval, kind of like there is now, right? And I was oh, well, if I feel the pain of others and minorities and marginalized groups of people, then I'll understand them better, and then I can help them. That was the misalignment there. And I realized all that was doing was causing myself to feel really drained and pain and not actually have the energy to do anything else, to actually help the way I thought I could. And so I realized like there's got to be another way. There's got to be another option here. Like feeling like crap like really doesn't do any good for anyone. So that was one of the moments where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at some spiritual options here and see what I can do. But yeah, I also agree with Marley. Like when I had that physical disease, like that was the tipping point for me. That was when I'm like, okay, I'm done with separation. I need to actually look at myself and my feelings and find out what's causing all of this. And a lot of it was actually just my denial of my desires and like my love for my twin flame. So yeah, that was a big healing point for me, recognizing that and actually choosing to claim my love of loves and like be happy, right?
Although I would like to say that sometimes, at least it's happened for me, it's how I understand the question of Stephanie is like, sometimes when you start your spiritual journey, you start to be sick, or you start to have physical symptoms. It's happened a lot for me because I'm really sensitive and I needed to heal a lot through my body. But yeah, I manifest some stuff that I never had before, and I had a lot, but some stuff I never had. Like I remember like last year, I started to have like a urinary infection, a bladder infection, and I literally I was healing, and I healed that, and it's even like start to be more quick, and just like after like 2 hours, when it starts, after 2 hours, start to have blood, in urine. I was like, what the fuck is that? It's even not possible, like scientifically. It was like, that's weird. But I healed that. I realized there was something to heal about flowing energy, and that it's really helped me to heal, because for me, I'm really sensitive with my body, and I'm really like, yeah, when I heal something, there is two things. Sometimes when you heal and after you will have a kind of upheaval through the body. That's happened sometimes to me. So when I heal, sometime after I have kind of flu for 1 or 2 hours, this kind of thing. But also for me, it's really happened that not anymore, because I'm really more aware of my body. But before, it's like my body needed the kind of big symptom in order that I go to heal this part. Because I really, as I say, it took me a lot of time to connect to my body. So I had a lot of manifestation like that. Even like, I remember it was like 2 months ago, I was like healing something, and I was outside, and I was going deeper in the healing about seeing God around me. And I started to have an allergy in my eyes, because I have allergy because of pollen. But here it was like normal one, but at one point I started to have these eyes just starting to scratch so much. I was scratching, and I go home. It took me like 5 minutes. When I reached my home, my eyes was only this one was big and like swallowing, like I never saw that in my life. Like the inside my eye was big. It's even horrible. It's something that normally, I mean, you have that when you have a kind of allergic shock or something like that. But you have eyes and you have everything, and you have edema, stuff like that. You're like dying, you need to go to hospital. But I have only these eyes because it was connected with masculine side. But I really needed to heal something only with these eyes. And I started to heal 1 hour after. Yeah, before, I was even not able to open my eyes. I was like, oh, okay, it was so big. And 1 hour after I healed, there was nothing. And I was like, okay, that's it. I say that to a doctor, one of my colleagues, they say, that's not possible. That's totally not possible. So you really see the power of healing. But you don't need to wait to manifest something really, really horrible to heal. You can heal when it's really small. It's what I do now. It's really about having compassion for yourself. Really have compassion. Don't do like that. I'm learning now. I learned how to have compassion, but yeah.
I think I just wanted to share one more thing. And it was like based on what Keely said about like a lot of her sickness was manifested around like denying her desires and like, you know, that call for your greatest love. And I like how Jeff said that in the sermon about, you know, this guy just wanted to like express his art and like be an artist and share his love with the world and like his divinity. But he felt like not safe to do that. So yeah, it's like it's really just like denying your desire to love and to like be with God really, and just like love your twin flame and love your life purpose and just love yourself. It's like the root of all disease in some way. So I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm also working on my creative expression right now in my personal journey. So I really like that part too. I related a lot to that. And it just so happens that, you know, that sacral chakra is also, you know, where you digest food and stuff too.
Yeah.
Not a coincidence, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because Shaleia, I remember in the sermon said that like everyone's creative and everyone like has that creative expression, and a lot of us are like hurt around our creativity because that's like how we share our love with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really beautiful. Yeah. And I love your art, by the way. It's like,
oh, thank you. I received that.
You were doing a lot of painting when you were sick, Keely. So that was probably really healing.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's a good point. I was doing a lot of like different kinds of painting, like I was working on my self-expression at that time. I still even have like Instagram posts, I think, from back then. Yeah, it was really healing to just release like a lot of my feelings. Like I wasn't sure how to process my feelings at the time. So I did it through art. That was my way of moving the energy through, because there was a block there in my sacral chakra. But I'm still working on it. It's a process.
Yeah, like one thing our union is working on is like claiming our power back, which I think is at the solar plexus, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like I've experienced like digestive issues sometimes too, but like not like as bad. And yeah, I definitely feel like it's, and like also like whenever I was like driving, I would get really tight in my stomach and like I don't know, like really like really scared for my life basically. But yeah, like I learned like I've learned a lot about how to claim my power back, and that's been really healing. And I haven't really noticed like that fear there that's like in my like solar plexus. And yeah, like I feel like the chakras definitely like if can tell you about like certain aspects of your healing, which it's definitely been helpful too, like for me and maybe for other people too.
Yeah, that's helped me a lot to heal, because I'm still working on my throat chakra, but this thing I passed my years to work on it, and I'm still working on it because it's about self-expression. It's really something, yeah, that I always have problems for that. And it's really the same I told you before. I have this infection. It's really about this sacral chakra, because I need to work there, and I started to manifest stuff around there. So it's really, yes, it's really amazing, because you can really feel and see where you go to when you need to go to heal. You know, it can be really an help, yeah, to really go deeper. Like I think for me, it's like a card reading. You know, like chakra for me it's the same. It's like another tool that you can use to heal. It's really, I really like it.
I love that. It's like a card reading. Cool. How's everyone feeling? We've almost reached an hour, I think. So, have any last thoughts to share? Stephanie just commented, have a conversation with yourself and God through your body. I love chakras because they help me to talk to my body. That's cool. I like that perspective. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I was gonna share, like, when I first joined, like, someone joined Twin Flame Ascension School, like, someone taught me, like, if you're having, like, pain in your body, like, you can, like talk to that part of your body and basically, like, help that part of your body through the mirror exercise, which is another cool way to heal with the mirror exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, I when I started this work, I was still experiencing some digestive issues, and there was one night I remembered, like, I was super bloated and just in a lot of pain. I'm like, oh no, not again, right? Like thinking, oh gosh, hopefully this doesn't transpire the way it did. But then I remembered that I could do that I could talk to that part of me and just ask it what it needed. And all it needed was just my acceptance of where it was. Like I just needed to just accept the fact that I was feeling like this and that my body was like this and that it was okay. It didn't mean that I was like doing something wrong or I was bad in any way or separate from God, separate from my divinity. It just needed that reassurance and acceptance that it was loved and accepted. So yeah, and when I did that, it was immediate relief. I could literally, like, feel my stomach just, like, come back, like the bloat, like, released. It was really cool. And then I was able to relax and just go on about my night. Yeah.
I remember you teaching me about that, like, how, like, you don't heal pain by resisting it. You have to, like, go into it and, like, let it go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that reminds me of that the second round of migraines that I got after TFAS. Jeff, like, talked to me about it in a class and said, like, it's not that you're going back into the pattern of migraines, you're actually just clearing it, like, from childhood. And that, like, when you're in that, whoa, where did we go? Oh, we're here, okay. Yeah, so, like, when you're in that, like, state of, like, pain, like, you don't resist the pain, you just, like, you, like, surrender to it basically, and it becomes, like, bearable, and you can heal and, like, ground and realize, like, everything's okay. And he also told me, like, it was also, like, that pain actually for me was upheaval of all the spiritual work, but, like, to know that when you're upheaving like that you're not responsible for anything, but just letting the upheaval pass. And, like, yeah, like, you're not doing anything wrong, and you're not, like, you didn't, like, mess up, and you're just letting it pass, and it's healing. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's really important once you've healed it to release your attachment to the upheaval. Because, yeah, that's what I was experiencing. It was just upheaval. And I remember Stephanie telling me, like, it's just leaving you. And I'm like, it's just leaving. Okay. That's a much better perspective than the one I was going in. Right? I was trying to, like, hold on to the old pattern, like the old vortex, but you've already healed it. You can let that go, and you can step fully into your new healed state of peace.
Amen. I feel like that's a good place to end our discussion. Thank you guys so much. This was, like, a really juicy discussion. And thanks to everyone in the comments for your questions and for watching. Yeah, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.